So, hello everybody. Sorry for how messy my garage is, but I wanted to show you what I had done so that I could lift my folding bike and put it onto a stand so I could work on it. When my folding bike came in, this is the Engwe EP-2 PRO. It came without the front tire, as well as a number of other things that had to be added onto the bike. When I put the front tire on, I found that the brakes were rubbing, and when I went to ride the bike, I found that it would not go into either the highest gear or the lowest gear. So we needed some adjustment. I am over 70 years old, and I felt that I could not lift the bike onto the bike stand safely by myself at a height that would allow me to work on the bike. So the first thing I purchased was a $90 bike stand, and I'll show you that when we get closer. And then the second thing I purchased was something that I used to use to hang my bikes in a garage in another house that I owned. It costs about $25, and that's on Amazon, and that's what it does. It hangs up bikes, but it's rated at 100 pounds, and the bike stand is rated at 85 pounds. So the bike itself with the battery in is rated at 74 pounds. I removed the battery, which you can see over here, to decrease the weight. When I do this again, I won't bother to remove the battery because this setup can certainly take the weight. Originally, I expected to remove the hanger after I got it onto the bike stand, but the hanger wasn't in the way at all, so it allowed me to have a double safety setup. So let's get a little closer, and you can see that the hanger fits nicely onto my handlebars. I had to move my display down, but the display rotates, so that was no problem. In the back here, we just hang it onto the back of the seat, and that's no problem. So this is a West Biking bike stand. It is not the best bike stand, although it certainly is sufficient for this job. It does move a little bit, and it's possible that I could better adjust this. It's also possible that it's moving because I haven't let all the tension off of the lift. But in any event, it was stable enough for me to work on without a problem. So what did I do? Well, after watching many YouTube videos, I was able to figure out how to adjust the brakes. And for watching all kinds of things, it turned out that there was a very easy way to do this, and that was to grab the brake handle and hold on to it after I had loosened these two screws, this one and this one, which essentially hold the brake onto the bike, and that opened them up. The trick was in pressing and holding the brake, it centered these devices, and then all I had to do was go in and tighten them up. That was much easier than all the other adjustments that everybody showed. Over on the other side of the bike, oh, and by the way, up until that point, this wheel did not move freely. Now it moves freely with what looks like a little bit of wobble that I haven't addressed yet, but it moves freely, and then we can brake it. Over here, we have my other problem. So the first part of this problem was that the derailleur guard was bent in shipping, and it was bent in. I watched some videos and they said that basically you could just pull it out. And they were right. I just put my hand here and pulled, and it came off of hanging onto the derailleur. The second thing that I learned was that there are two limiting screws. The outside limiting screw, or the right limiting screw, is the one that controls your smallest gear over here. The left limiting screw is the one that controls your highest gear over here. You back out this right limiting screw to the point where it will move the derailleur so that it can jump onto this last gear. And you do the same thing for the big gear. If you move it too much, it will jump off the gear. That's not a big deal to get it back on. And that's about it, other than, since we're talking about an Engwe bike, or Engwe, many people have pointed out that their rear rack, which is really a substantially nice rear rack, doesn't fit. And many of the people who have reviewed these bikes have received the bike with the front wheel on and the back rack already in place, so they don't know about this. But this part, these two parts are too narrow, and the bottom parts just aren't right. The solution, unfortunately, to the problem, because Engwe did not respond to emails, is to bend these a little bit. I don't know if you can see the bow in this, but there's a little bit of a bow that you might be able to see. Not here, because this is the only one that got bent. And then, to be honest with you, I smacked it with a rubber mallet until it went into place, and you can see where I hit the bike a couple of times. That's my rubber mallet. And you can also see that it's been bent. It doesn't fit flush. It does fit flush on this side. And that's it. Otherwise, everything else on the bike is perfect. So that's my solution. And hopefully I won't be making another video, because the other parts of this bike seem to be working fine. So we're going to go do some riding. We've ridden it a little bit. That's when we discovered the problems that we had. And otherwise, it appears to be a very nicely made bike with good components. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.